Welcome to Tea with Honey. It's your girl HoneyDaVinci and I'm back with another video. So tonight I'll be doing another segment of the review and I'll be discussing Black Ink Crew Season 8 Episode 20. So the first topic I would like to talk about is Jess and Walt. They went to a counselor because on the last episode, just to recap, Walt threw an engagement party for him and Jess and it got ruined by Puma and Tati because they hopped on the microphone and was making jokes. And Walt got really upset. Now, initially, my first reaction was, Tati and Walt ruined the event, which they did. But I didn't notice that Walt was drinking again at the party, and they highlighted that on this episode. They highlighted the fact that Walt was drinking, and if you remember from the previous season, Walt has a serious addiction to alcohol. And the last time he was drinking heavy, he was having he was spazzing out, he was having all type of erratic behavior. So they correlated it to that. But again, like I said before, Tati's foul for what he did, and I felt like Puma was doing the most as well. Because at the end of the day, someone's engagement party is just not the time or the place to be making jokes. Like, he paid money for that event. Like, don't ruin people's event when they're spending their hard-earned cash, especially when they're doing it for their significant other. Like, it's a time and a place for everything. Alright, so that's when Jess sits Walt down at the table at her crib. And she's basically let him know that she's been worried about him and his mental health. And she wanted to go to a marriage counselor, like a pre-marriage counselor, to talk about their inner demons and talk about the things that they have weighing on them from their past that they haven't quite been able to shake, which I felt was very boss of her. Like, I really like that about her. I feel like as a significant other, it's important to take into account your partner's self-awareness. In the Black community, self-awareness and mental health isn't really pushed on us that much. It's rare you have someone in your life that actually cares about your mental health. In the Black community, when you're suffering from mental health, you're just told to just get over it. It's a part of life. Deal with it. But some people aren't strong enough to just get over it. Sometimes that shit can weigh on you. Sometimes that shit can pull you down and you don't even know what's wrong with you. You don't even know what's wrong. You just have feelings, these feelings that you just can't shake, and it's stifling your growth and it's stifling your movement, and you can't even shake it and you don't know how, and you need someone to help you with that support. And a lot of times in the Black community, you don't have that. You're just told to deal with it. You're looked at funny because you're not handling it well. And the most that'll happen is people will just talk about you behind your back. No one will reach out to you to help you or support you or to see what's wrong with you or even ask if you're okay. A lot of times they'll just shun you and then treat you like shit and talk about you behind your back with other people and laugh at your demise. But I think it was really cool that Jess, she's really in touch with Walt and his mental health, and she decided that the best thing for them to be, and not just for him, for her as well, she said she has things that she's been through that she wanted to talk to a counselor and get some therapy and work through that before they get married. And I thought that was really dope of her to do. And when they did go to the marriage counselor, they talked about the infidelity in a relationship and how the counselor asked her where her trust level with Walt is at, and on a scale of 1 to 10, and Jess said that her trust was about a 7. And I knew she was going to say 7. I was predicting it in my mind because she didn't just answer right away. She paused for a minute, thought about it, and I knew she was going to say 7. I don't know. I just knew it, but So she said it was around a 7, which I feel like is appropriate for your man cheating on you the first time. Like a 7, it'll drop from a 10 to about a 7. And it hurt Walt because, he feels like he messed up. He feels like, dang, it shouldn't be like this, and he knows it's because of him. And he was addicted to alcohol and going through all that as well. So I'm sure that played a part in his infidelity, and the stress about him and his kids and all that stuff played a part in it as well. Because like Steve Harvey said, which I don't feel like Steve Harvey is the type of person that you should go to for relationship advice, but when someone speaks the truth, regardless of the messenger, you have to listen to the message, okay? And a lot of people struggle with that alone, because a lot of people will hear a true message, a message that equates to the realities of the world, and they won't accept it because of the messenger. No, you have to accept the message if it's facts, regardless of who the messenger is. You don't have to dwell with the messenger. You don't have to be with the messenger. You don't have to be around the messenger. But if a messenger gives you a message, that might just be the messenger that was the one who was supposed to give you that message. You have to listen to it. Okay? So, like Steve Harvey says, when a man is going through certain things in his life, it makes it harder for him to love his woman the right way. And I feel like that's what's kind of the case with Walt and Jess. Like, he was probably going through all his situation with his drinking and his kids having to move, and you know, him losing his house and all these things. And so he probably was really stressed out and depressed, and he probably felt emasculated, thus making him take his anger out on Jess, and you know, just not caring pretty much about himself. And when you don't care about yourself, you can't care about anyone else. And that's one of RuPaul's #1 lines. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay? Because I feel like maybe he just wasn't loving on himself. And it's hard to love yourself if you lose your kids and you lose your crib and you're going through all these things. You know what I mean? So he probably just wasn't in a position to be able to love Jess the way that she deserves. But I big her up for sticking by him. Hopefully he doesn't cheat on her again. Because if he does, she needs to just leave his ass, because she doesn't deserve that. Period. Another topic that came up was Puma and Kwame. Alright, so Puma and Kwame, if you don't know, because Kwame doesn't make too many appearances, but she's Puma's wife and girlfriend and baby's mother. And, you know, they have kids together or whatever, and they just haven't been really intimate much. So Puma comes home and he's trying to do the nasty with Kwame, but he's mad because the sun is still up. He's like, man, what is he still doing up? And Kwame's like, it's the middle of the day. Why wouldn't he be up right now? He's like, man, I wanted some daylight delight or whatever. And she's like, that's not gonna happen. She was like, even though, you know, you work and you pay the bills and stuff like that, I still be here with the kids all day, cooking, cleaning, doing the laundry, doing things around the house. So I don't have time to stop and give you daylight delight, you know what I mean? So basically she was just like, nah. And then that's when Puma took the initiative. And I love guys who do this type of stuff, because I love guys who are spontaneous. And he's like, you know what, let's go out and do something fun together. Let's go out, you know, let's go on a date. And it's very important when you're in a relationship with someone to continue to date each other, continue to court each other. You know what I mean? So Kwame's like, sure, we can do that. I'll pick the spot. So on the day of their date, Kwame surprises Puma with a sex dungeon. You see my eyebrows? Yeah. A sex dungeon. So they walk into the place and there's whips and chains and all types of things, like swings and all types of torture equipment to just like go crazy on him or her or whoever. And then there's this little short Spanish lady with a full latex bodysuit on, and she has a whip in her hand. She's like, whoosh, whoosh. She's like, you ready? And everybody, and Puma looked like he done died and came alive 3 times already. He's like, what the hell? And Kwame's just like, yes. And you can tell that she needed this. You could tell that she just has been like missing having these fun moments with Puma. And yeah, so Puma got tortured, and it was funny. It was so funny. She freaking electrocuted him and was whipping him and made him strip and all types of stuff. And it was cute. I'm all into that type of stuff. Another thing that happened was Donna and Alex, they went to a sex museum. And, you know, they're just on a date with each other and spending time together, which is nice to see because I feel like this season I haven't seen much of Alex and Donna interacting. I've seen mostly Donna and Tati interacting. So it was nice to finally see Donna interact with her man instead of Tati. And so they went to a sex museum, but the only reason they went to the sex museum is because Donna wanted to basically warm Alex up into telling him that she wants Tati to join their relationship and have like some polygamous three-way relationship or whatever. You like it, I love it, whatever. So she was surprised because, you know, she's warming him up. They're going through the museum. They're playing on the things and all this stuff. And then they sit down. And right before Donna is trying to, like, because she's bringing up Tati, like, oh, yeah, you know our relationship, you know our friendship, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when Alex just killed her shit. Like, listen, let's stop talking about Tati. Let's talk about us. So he just changes the subject. And he drops the bomb that he wants to start having kids with her. And Donna's thrown off because, one, we all know that Donna done had miscarriages, abortions, all types of things. And she was really in critical condition on like either like 2 seasons ago or 3 seasons ago. One of those seasons where she was pregnant by that guy that was in jail, the one that was abusing her, the one that she was going to marry in jail, that guy. When he was home, she had got pregnant by him, and I remember like she had went through this whole situation and she might not ever have kids again because of it. It was like all this stuff going on with her body, and I think that was what she was talking about when she was saying about there being a pregnancy in her fallopian tubes or whatever. And so when you go through stuff like that, that's really traumatic. And you know, Alex is talking about he wants to have kids with her, which it's like you really can't knock him because they're in a relationship. But like, dude, you know the health risk of Donna getting pregnant again. You know what I'm saying? So why would you put her through that again? Like, if I knew my spouse possibly died from getting pregnant in the past, I would not attempt to do that again. Clearly, it's a very serious risk, like, clearly. So why even attempt it? Like, a baby's not that serious to where you need to risk your spouse's life. You already have a kid, so it's not like you never had kids before. You know what I'm saying? But he wants to have kids by her, and he wants to do it before they get married. And Donna's like, no, I don't want to have a child before I get married and then be all, you know, pregnant in my wedding dress or things like that. She's not feeling that. Donna wants to get married. Like, if you want to be with her forever, then just marry her. Like, why have a baby with someone before you marry them? If you want to have a baby with someone, then marry her. And if she's not the type of woman that you feel like you can marry, then you don't need to have kids with her. But that's his logic. And so, you know, Donna was upset and she went to go tell Tati about the fact that, you know, he wants to have kids and how she wasn't able to tell him about the threesome that she wanted to have with Tati. And so, you know, Tati was upset about it and all this, but it is what it is. But what I did notice was when she thought that Alex was about to propose to her, when he was bringing up their relationship before he dropped the bomb that he wanted to have kids. She thought he was about to propose to her. And she said in her confessional, wow, is Alex about to propose to me? I don't know what this means for me and Tati, but so what? I'm about to get married, right? When you hear things like this lets you know, Tati, that you are not valued. You're not valued in this three-way, and maybe you don't want to be. Hey, to each his own. Not everybody wants to be a valued member of a relationship or whatever the case is. So if that's the case, then hey, do you. But Ain't no way I'm going to be in no three-way situation where a person could just wake up one day and X me out the equation and just drop me like a hot potato and have me out here looking like, all right, we're done with her. We used her as much as we could and now we're done with her. And then they go sail off in the sunset, get married and have kids and live their life together. And no. I'll be damned that, no. And it was just very, very, very telling when Donna said that in the confessional. Like, I don't know what this means for me and Tati, but oh well. And you know, Tati's over here begging her. Every scene you see Tati in, she's begging her to tell Alex. Like, tell Alex about us. Tell Alex about us. Tell Alex about us. If Alex was about to propose to her, your ass would have been dropped like a bad habit. And you would have been looking very stupid on national television. So you need to be glad that Alex didn't propose to her first. Girl, get it together. So, on a more serious note, the next time we see Bay is with her and Donna. And she's in the shop and she's talking to Donna after doing a tattoo about how her father reached out to her. And for those of you who don't know, Bay's father is a very abusive man. Bay has spoken many occasions about the abuse that she suffered while growing up. She talked about him abusing her mom. She talked about him abusing her and her siblings. And she talked about the fact that the abuse got so bad that her and her family had to literally flee and run away and go sleep in a trailer full of trash at a junkyard to hide from their father because he was that abusive to them. And he reached out to her. And just like I said, if you look at one of my previous Black Ink Crew videos, when I was talking about Q and Q's mom, and I was talking about how the parents don't love their kids until their kids are famous. And I feel like this is just another situation of that, because it's ridiculous that she hasn't talked to her father since 2007. But now that she's on TV and she's getting money and she's living a good life, now her father wants to reach out to her and be a part of her life. And that's the bullshit people go through every day. Every day when a new star is broke out, now all of a sudden their deadbeat parents, their abusive parents, their neglectful parents want to all of a sudden be a part of their lives and care about them and accept them for who they are and whatever the case is. And I feel like this was just another situation of that. The father probably found out from some other people like, oh, you see Bay's on TV, oh, whatever. And now he wants to come around and make amends. And honestly, if I was Bay, I wouldn't even have sat down with his ass. Ain't no way you're going to beat the shit out of my mother, beat the shit out of my little brothers and sisters, and then come sit up in my face. No. He would have went to his bed, his final resting place, and I would have haunted him the entire time of his living of knowing what he did to us. I would never talk to him again. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you got me, my brothers, and my little sisters, or whatever, sleeping in a junkyard because you beating us so bad that we can't just live a normal life. But I will give it to Bay for being strong enough to even do that, because I wouldn't have been strong enough to do that. Nope. I wouldn't have. No. Ain't no way. Talk for what? What is there to talk about? It's 2020. I haven't seen you since 2007. What is there to talk about? But I give it to her for being strong enough to do it, because it takes strength to face your demons head on. It does. It takes strength to do that. And so she went and she sat down with her dad, and the exact thing that she was afraid of when she was talking to Donna, because she was telling Donna how she was afraid that her father was going to be fake like he used to be. She talked about how he was fake, and she was just worried that he would get on TV and act fake. And that's exactly what he did. He pretended like he didn't know what she was talking about. At the same time, she really didn't give him a chance to talk or open up. But she was so hurt, and it was just rage. She just screamed at the top of her lungs. Like, it just gives me chills even talking about it. It just gives me chills talking about her pain. It just resonated so deeply. Like, to see a grown woman scream, like, say sorry. She screamed, like, out the top of her lungs. And we know baby screaming and stuff, but this not the typical babe screaming. Like, this shit was a scream of passion, a scream of pain, a scream that you know she went through some really dark shit with him. And she was just like, it's like, let me paint a little bit of a picture for you. When Bae sat down at the table with her father, it was a long table, and they both sat on each end, and they both were already crying. And Bae, she couldn't look at him. Like, her head was down, her energy was low, and you could tell she went back to that dismissive place, that submissive place of, you know, like a child who's afraid. And you saw the strength build in her. You know what I mean? And you could see on the father's face that he acknowledged that he was wrong in the body language that they exchanged between their first meeting, right? So when he comes down, he sits down and he's breaking down too. He's crying. He takes his hat off and throws it because he has a sense of remorse with him in that moment. Now, as you see the strength build within Bae, you also see the remorse disappear on the father. So as you see Bae crying, and then like she probably like, let me get myself together, and it was more so anger. It was like the sadness, the hurt, and the fear turned to anger, and you saw that shit transition on her face. You also saw the remorse disappear on the father's face. And so she's talking in her language to her father, and she's asking him, you know, you wanted to talk, like, what up, like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, you know, I haven't seen you for all this time, and, you know, I just wanted to see you before I die, you know what I mean, like, whatever. And she's like, well, why would you think that I want to see you? Like, you think me, mommy, and sister ran away because you were nice to us? Like, why would we want to see you? And the dad is basically, I don't feel like he was acting like he didn't know what she was talking about. I feel like he just wasn't acknowledging what she was talking about. He wouldn't say, yes, this is true. He wouldn't say, I know I was wrong, I did that. He didn't do that. But he never said, I didn't beat you. He never said, you're lying. He never said, this isn't true. So he basically confirmed what she said, but didn't acknowledge the truth behind it at the same time, if you know what I mean. Kind of like if you're with your man and you're like, are you cheating on me? And he doesn't say no. He says, you need to calm down or I'm not talking to you. You get what I mean? It's like that. It's like, nigga, tell me, are you cheating on me? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, but he's not saying he didn't. He never lied to you. He never said you were a liar. He never said he didn't. But he didn't say he did. So you're still left with that emptiness of not knowing the truth. Because now it's like, this whole conversation was pointless because you didn't give me the closure that I felt I needed, and I still don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? And I'm not getting the reaction from my father that I need in order to heal. And you know, like that talk that she had with Donna when she was telling Donna that her dad was coming to town to talk to her was deep, man. Shit was deep. Like, goddamn, like, when you, like, you know, I've been watching Black Ink Crew for a very long time. Since the beginning. And until I started making videos about Black Ink Crew, I never realized how deep the show is. I've always been entertained by it, always loved the show. But I never realized just how deep the show is until I really started breaking it down into words and reviewing it to other people. It's like, God damn, you know, because I witnessed this shit. I witnessed Bae go to Korea and show us the fucking trailer with the trash and everything, you know what I mean? So I witnessed her talk about her father. I witnessed her talk to her mother about her father, and her mom talking about how he was, you know, beating him and stuff like that. And then like to actually meet the father, it's like, God damn, Black Ink Crew, y'all got the dad on TV too? Where y'all find him? Come on. Y'all got some executive producing going on this show. Oh, y'all done got the dad on here too, huh? It's deep though. But yeah, so when she was talking to Donna, it was really sad. It was really sad. She was saying how everything that she's been through in her life has been because of him. Like, she's crying while she's saying that. And everything that, and when she says that, what she means is her mental issues, the way she interacts with men, the way she cares about herself, is because of her father and the abuse that she went through. Things like that. When you get traumatized, a lot of times that shit sticks with you. It can shape your characteristics. It can change you into someone that you never even knew that you could be. It can make you a slave to the abuse and trauma. And oh my gosh, and I mean this in the most respectful way ever, but I love the way Korean people talk to each other. Like, when she was talking to her dad, and the way her wordplay was, it was so passionate. Oh my gosh, she said, we were a slave in the shell of ourselves. And it was like poetry, like, because you know they were like using the subtitles and stuff. I was like, damn, that shit sound like poetry. Like, I was crying and shit. Girl, I cried so many times in this episode. I'm a sensitive person, okay? I cry when I see sad shit on TV, okay? And I cried numerous times. It was just like such this like sad, passionate moment. And then like you see two different parts, two different sides of Bae. You see the sad, soft side of her when she's telling Bae, when she's telling Donna about her father and the pain that she's been through in the past and all these things. And then when she sits down with her father, you see this angry, it's like an angry child begging her father to apologize to her for all of the things she's done, and then begging the cameraman to not let him leave, and that she needs more time, she has more questions, but she's so angry she can't control herself. But the camera crew's like, we have to leave because this is getting out of hand, but she just can't control herself. But she's begging them to let her father stay so that she can talk to him some more, because she's just so hurt. She just needs answers, she needs the closure. And then you see the father going the fuck off, but not at her, but at the camera crew, because they're trying to make him leave. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. This is my daughter. Like, he didn't say this is my daughter, but like, you understood that's what he meant when he was like, get the fuck away from me. All of you get away from me. And it's like, he's like, I'm not leaving. Like, yes, like he understood why she was angry. He felt like he deserved it. And it was just brilliant TV and just very sad reality, you know? So, yeah, all that happened, and Bae didn't get the closure that she needed. Maybe she will in the next episode. You never know, because the last we see, they made the dad take a step outside and everything like that, and then, you know, they cut over to some scene with seasoning, but maybe they'll start the next episode off with Bae and her dad. Who knows? But I know that shit had to hurt Bae. I know it did. I know it had to hurt her, because it was probably hard enough just to even look him in the face, and I saw that in her. And then for him to like not acknowledge what he did say one thing. He said he couldn't be a good father. He didn't know how to. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe if she was able to control her anger a little bit better, maybe he would have opened up more. But how could she control her anger? Oh, she talked about the abuse and everything, about like how he kicked her so many times that she got a fever. She talked about how she has the uniform where it had blood stains on the shirt because he smacked her in her face and she got a nosebleed. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ooh. See, I told you I'm a sensitive person, and it's like getting me all worked up. Getting me all worked up. So yeah, it was sad. It was very sad. And I'm going to close it off here before I start crying, because I always said I would never cry on camera. So you're not about to have me on this camera crying over no fucking Black Ink Crew. That's what we're not going to do, okay? So that's my review on Black Ink Crew New York. Season 8, episode 20. It was a very sad episode. It had a lot of good points, a lot of good mental health understanding and things like that, all correlated in one episode. You had the mental health with Jess and Walt, and then we also had the mental health talk between Donna and Bay when she talks about how her father has influenced her mental health. And then we also got to see the abuser interact with the person that he abused and their interaction. So it was a lot of good understanding, and it came together really well. I really enjoyed the episode. I look forward to the next episode. I feel really bad for Bay, and I pray for her and her sanity, and I big her up for being strong enough to do that. Alright, so don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all of my videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.